Every day when you think this case can't get crazier, it does. It somehow does. Oh my God. Good morning, true crime friends. How y'all doing? Donna Adelson, trial day 8 was so deliciously unhinged. Oh my God. This was probably my favorite day in court ever.
Okay, next witness is that family law expert, Ms. Bailey, who seemed to be best friends with the prior witness.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank God.
Cross-examine.
We're at cross-examination. A lot of you are going to say, Emily, what was the point of that witness?
She would say, oh yeah, as she said, or I agree with her, and just as she explained.
I think it was incredibly cumulative, duplicative.
It was almost like bolstering of that prior witness. And to me, a lot of what she said was not even an expert opinion.
Then Georgia Cappleman, Queen Georgia, rose out of her seat like the goddess that she is for the cross-examination. Now look.
You know Georgia's pissed when she starts asking the question before she even gets to the microphone.
And Georgia Cappleman comes in swinging.
I have never seen Georgia this upset with a witness before.
What is it you were asked to do in this case?
I was asked to review the documents I was given and to opine about whether this was truly a highly contentious custody case, essentially.
And why would your opinion about whether it was a highly contentious custody case matter?
It doesn't. Well, that's for somebody else to decide. I mean, I've done 2,000 cases, or give or take 100 on each side, and I think I have a pretty good judge of where this falls as far as contentiousness.
Sure, but you're...
A great point by the prosecutor. It's like, who cares whether you think it was contentious?
Isn't the contentiousness in the eye of the beholder, in the sense that to you it might not seem like a big deal, but to the parties it might be the most important thing in the whole wide world. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that?
Ms. Cappleman, Ms. Bailey, wait for the question, wait for the answer.
Oh, they're all ready to fight. The prosecution is asking specific and pointed questions, and the witness is already fighting with her.
I think she gets a little frustrated, right? I think she has really good points, but I think certain times the emotion is a little too high.
Do you agree that a case, as a lawyer, might be routine, whereas to the parties it's the most important thing in the world?
To some degree.
This is an amazing point. And I tell my clients this, when we talk about whether we're going to file a lawsuit or not, I'm like, it doesn't matter to me. It's my job. I do this every single day.
To the lawyers and the judges in the court that deal with this every day, it doesn't mean anything to them. To the person who's living it, to Dan Markel, who's getting shit-talked by Donna and is getting shit-talked by they're fucking ruining his life, that shit matters to him.
Because it's just normal life, right? It's work for us. And I thought that was an amazing point by the prosecutor, and it's like, but it's not for Donna Adelson. So whether you think it's contentious or not, doesn't matter a lick. If this family thinks it's incredibly contentious, it's life or death to them.
Doesn't matter to this asshole who's going to testify and sell her soul, but she can't even fathom that point. Doesn't even register to her.
We reach resolutions that people stay measured and calm, and we get things done.
So all of that attorney's clients, it's no big deal for them. It doesn't get contentious because she's so calm and even-handed. I was like, what? It's like advertising for that other lawyer. It's like, well, because she's so calm, like, obviously it wasn't very contentious. It's like,
According to Linda Bailey, she was like, look, I reviewed the file, and this Wendi was being very reasonable. Is she talking about the same divorce that we've been talking about, where Wendi was fully melting down and Donna was losing her ever-loving mind?
The immediate response is to call your client and go, I know you're going to read this at first glance, so it's going to seem messy, but there's no legal basis for this, so don't worry. And my understanding is that is what she communicated to Wendi.
Yeah, but you know what's going on behind the scenes down in Miami there with Donna? Where do you have that kind of ability to know what's going on in the personal lives of your clients and their extended family members? You don't.
And when you communicate these things to your clients, hey, this is no big deal, this is no problem, this is a bunch of gibberish, do they always accept that?
Well, that's not the way I would present it, but...
Do they ever get upset about the gibberish in the pleadings, the offensive materials in the pleadings, regardless of whether or not it's going to impact their chance of success in court? It can be emotionally charged, can it?
Well, I would say annoying more than emotionally charged.
You would not say that divorce and child custody issues are emotionally charged?
They can be. But in this case, they weren't.
They weren't? How do you know?
Get her! In this case, they weren't emotionally charged. How the fuck do you know that?
Look at Georgia's hair. Her hair tells the tale.
Was it very humid yesterday in Tally? Because she was just like, her hair was like, what? Her hair was starting to stand on end. I'm like, this not going to go good.
Georgia, this is a whole vibe.
Her face, she is done, okay?
I've been ready for this cross-examination for 700 years because that's how long this witness has been on the stand. And the prosecutor is like, what the fuck are you saying to me?
She is sick and tired of being sick and tired, babes. You know what I'm saying? Day 8, she is done.
From the pleadings, because I don't have 10,000 pages in front of me.
You're not in the mind of the people whose lives are impacted by these pleadings. It's not just about pieces of paper and a binder, is it?
I don't think that's what I said.
People's lives are impacted by the decisions that go on in court, which for you are routine. Would you agree?
In this instance, they reached agreement on all issues, so they had complete control of what was coming out of the court.
Like Georgia is getting frustrated because this moron, it's not even registering this asshole what she's saying. It's not even registering her. Like, she's so oblivious. How could you not understand? And if I am Phil right there, if I'm Phil and I'm Ruth and I'm Shelly, I'm glad that Georgia's being an advocate.
Ma'am, could you please answer my question? Are people's lives impacted in drastic ways by routine matters that we see in court as lawyers?
Yes.
People's lives change after divorce, certainly.
So, like, I may think
Definitely being evasive and being a difficult witness.
I've got a bag of stinky garbage, but the garbage man might not think it's stinky at all. Do you get the reference?
I don't.
What is...
He doesn't get the reference that the garbage stinks to us. I could never sit on a garbage truck. Garbage men do it and they're like, it's fine. It's no big deal.
She's talking about nose blindness, ma'am. Nose blindness. You don't get the reference?
That's like lawyers with our cases, right? But for the client, it's a much bigger deal. It's a great analogy, but this witness is being evasive on purpose.
Do you get the reference?
I don't.
What is no big deal to us is a big deal to these litigants.
Gallery's trying not to smile.
I left my body. Okay, babes? I left my body when Georgia is telling us about stinky garbage. Okay? And the garbage man is like, that doesn't stink. I'm around it all day. Look at her. Look at our glasses. Look at our little Harry Potteretta in the back. She is aghast. If she had pearls, she would have clutched.
Oh, Dan's sister, hold on. Dan's sister has the most appropriate response, which is, I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to respond.
You can't agree with that. You can't agree with it.
It makes me want to cry because she's being an advocate for Dan. Fuck this lady.
Let's go on to something else.
Have you ever felt so relatable? Like that I have never seen an attorney in court that I was like, babe, me too. I feel you.
Have you ever had people...
I mean, look at Georgia. That was crazy. The way she just did that. She's like, how can someone be so stupid?
I completely understand. Rub those temples, my sweet queen. Because fuck this noise.
Have you ever had people get murdered?
Georgians. Yeah, where's the judge like, I'm gonna need you to not make any facial expressions or gestures that tell the jury that you think what the person just said is total bullshit.
Right, which I mean, I'm enjoying it, but
right.
I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Right.
Is like that was, she's like this fucking bitch.
How dare this bitch get up there and say, God bless her, I'm sure she's lovely, but get up here and say that it was no big deal, because everything is relative.
Right.
Like, really?
Yeah. Come on.
Because that was a pretty good analogy. It was a pretty
Very good analogy.
with
Very
the
good
garbage
analogy.
bag.
Georgia's frustrated with another attorney acting this way and making this ridiculous assertion that she can tell from the pleadings that it wasn't contentious.
But when you are in the trenches, how dare she say this was not a big deal?
So if it's not contentious, you're talking about also the mannerisms and behaviors and effects of these filings on the litigants.
And it wouldn't have caused, Wendi to be so upset that she would want something to be done, or Donna, her mother, to she wasn't angry at all. What are you talking about?
What about the fact that Dan Markel was talking about losing your license, both Wendi and her attorney, for their behavior?
This was just normal. And Dan Markel was dramatic. And he wrote stuff in his filings that were to hurt people. Shut up.
Aren't these issues to make people upset?
Potential fuel to possibly make people upset?
Yes, ma'am. For example, you were asked about what we've called the grandma motion. You say, oh, it's no big deal. It wouldn't be granted. It was buried in there. But the allegation is grandma is disparaging me to these kids, and I won't tolerate it, right? Couldn't that be upsetting to grandma?
You'd have to ask grandma.
Exactly.
Exactly. You'd have to ask grandma, not you.
There was no.
And that is so exactly inappropriate. Shouldn't say it, but she's right. That's the point. Whether or not this is pissing somebody off, you got to ask the person it's written about, not the lawyer handling the case.
Well, we have grandma's emails.
It shouldn't have been. There was no proof.
It should.
Ma'am, it shouldn't have been. The victim shouldn't have been murdered, but we're at a murder trial. It shouldn't have been.
Her dumb. It should have been. There's no proof. The person involved doesn't give a shit that there's no proof. They are saying this about them. How can you be so oblivious? How can you be so obtuse?
Woo! This witness.
Gibbers, according to the evidence in this case, means Jew in boots. It's not a flattering term by that definition or by your definition of someone that speaks gibberish. Can we agree it's not a flattering term?
No, it's probably not flattering, but I've seen far, far worse.
No one gives a shit if you've seen far, far worse. You piece of shit.
It doesn't matter if you've seen worse. This is the worst thing that's happened to these families. It doesn't matter if other people have had worse.
No one cares. They were shit talking Dan. You can't admit that? Because you got the check from the Adelsons?
Is that what you tell your clients? It's fine. It's not that bad. Other people have suffered worse. I sure hope not. Because when it's happening to them, it is the worst thing that's happened to them.
If Mr. Markel wasn't paying by the deadline, isn't that something that would be potentially upsetting to the parties or their family members?
I don't know how upsetting $80,000 would be. I don't know.
$80,000 is a lot of money, isn't it, Ms. Bailey?
It depends on who you are.
Depends on,
Exactly. So we'd have to ask the parties, right?
$80,000 isn't a lot of money. To who? Couldn't be me. $80,000, I'd be up your ass and around the corner looking for it. She is just so dismissive to anything, and I don't even understand.
I hope this lady gets one of those eyelashes in her eye that she can't get out for hours upon hours. She just can't get it out. And she just has to scratch her eye, and she scratches the cornea because she just can't get that eyelash out. I hope that happens to her.
Can you imagine? She just gets up and talks all of her shit. I go, stop it.
I hope the other side of the pillow is always warm for her. She's in Florida. I hope that every time she goes to the beach, the sand gets in every orifice and she can't get it out for days and weeks.
Did you review the communications from Donna Adelson, both in the form of email and text messages, that suggest that she was in fact extremely disappointed and upset about the outcome of the relocation motion?
I did in probably the 5 days after the relocation, which was say 4 weeks before the ultimate settlement in July, there were a flurry of emails where she was obviously upset.
Did you review Mrs. Adelson's communications after July 31st that suggests she's consistently still upset about this?
I wasn't provided.
So you were, I'm sorry, finish your answer.
They didn't give their expert the rest of the emails? Is she saying I wasn't provided those emails? She's testifying that people weren't upset, and we're getting through, I wasn't provided those?
Sir, you weren't provided any?
I wasn't provided after the flurry, right after the relocation, before the final judgment was entered in July of 2013. After July 2013, I don't recall seeing any emails from Miss Donna Adelson about the relocation.
If Dan Markel had agreed to the relocation post-denial, post-stipulation, post, it could still happen, right? I mean, if he agrees, it could happen.
Sure, if he agreed, she could have relocated.
All right. And
I hope that she wakes up every Sunday from now on. I hope she wakes up and thinks it's Saturday and then realizes it's really fucking Sunday.
And if he was murdered, it could happen, right?
Well, obviously.
Obviously.
Wow. Oh, the prosecutor's letting that answer hang, isn't she? Because I know she's got another question. She's just letting that fill the silence. That's a good choice, counsel.
So you categorized
incredibly strategic.
Dan Markel's pleadings in a lot of different ways: baseless, untrue, unenforceable, gibberish, nonsense, suggestion of unethical filings on the part of his lawyer to sign off on them. Are you saying, I think what you're saying is that those things wouldn't amount to much in court?
He was trying to enforce things that weren't in the marital settlement agreement. There was no court order to make her do the things he wanted her to do. So there's no basis for the court to have granted his motion.
Right, so they weren't going to be successful. It's your opinion they weren't going to be successful.
Yes, that's my opinion.
But would you agree that the things he was putting in there are inflammatory?
I would agree that they were inflammatory.
And they potentially could make
Upsetting.
the parties or their relatives upset to read those pleadings and those inflammatory accusations.
Sure, nobody wants to read those allegations, true or not, about themselves in a public record.
You were shown a bunch of binders on a case. That case has nothing to do with this case, right?
No, it was a relocation case.
Right. And that case, was anybody murdered in that case?
No.
Okay. So if somebody had been murdered in that case, there might have been a lot less paper, right?
Yeah.
Case would have been shorter if somebody gotten murdered, wouldn't it, Miss Bailey?
Yeah. Come
If
on.
it wasn't a party, the case would have ended.
And if our case, we hadn't had a murder, we might have a lot more paper in our case, wouldn't we?
No, because the divorce was over in July.
Divorce was over in July, but they kept filing papers, didn't they?
Well, and the case was set for hearing May 15th, 2014. And then Mr. Markel amped it up again, and on May 5th, he filed the motion that accused Kristen of fraud. So she had to withdraw, so they had to move that motion. So had that not been filed, they would have had a resolution on May 15th.
We don't know that. How do you know it was going to go on May 15th?
They don't know there would be a
continued for any
resolution.
zillion different reasons, couldn't it?
It was set for May 15th, and it was noticed for May 15th.
Set for May 15th, but at the time of Dan Markel's murder, litigation was still ongoing in this case. Yes? Yes. And even after that was resolved, there would be nothing stopping them from having a bunch of other time-sharing issues or whatever come up, and they might have ended up with reams of paper, right?
Objection or calls for speculation.
She's an expert witnesses may give their opinion. That's probably what the court's about to say.
No, yeah, you opened the door.
Yep. You brought the binders up, Chief.
Piled them right
I
up.
guess my response to that would be, I think it would have been to Wendy's benefit to proceed with those hearings, because nothing makes someone stop filing nonsense pleadings and motions better than having them ordered to pay the other side's attorney's fees. So had they gone to the hearing on May 15th,
True story.
and had Wendi have been
It
successful,
is true story.
he would have very likely had to pay Wendy's attorney's fees. So once the other side gets kind of slapped down, if you will, by the court and made to pay your fees, then they tend to back off.
So that hadn't happened yet.
It had not happened yet.
And we'll never know when that was going to happen because we never got to that point, right?
Clearly.
Because he was murdered.
Clearly.
May I have a moment?
I mean, that's just such a great ending. That is such a good ending.